My name is Godfrey Christopher Tsumbedzo Koti. I am a communications and reputation management specialist. I'm currently with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority. That's where I'm deploying my skill on a daily basis. Also into the media business in its breadth and form. And I've got a very huge interest in sport as well. Yeah, that's me basically. Wow, I think first of all I would say it's such an honor to be recognized amongst the best in the country, or the most influential, if you like, in the country. I think it's nice to know that it's not a popularity contest. My background has always been about popularity. From my days in television, radio, and sports. Now it's influence, its impact. So I think it's something that's huge. That also shows that the country is taking a different direction and is looking at us, the young ones, as upcoming leaders. It's a very good step in the right direction. Huge as well, in the sense that the composition of the top 40 to me speaks of a wide array of sectors. It speaks of a wide array of different personalities, different thought leaders, and government need implementers. They have the strategies. We've seen them from as way back as in 1992, where you had the Economical Structural Adjustment Program, known to many as ISAP. Very brilliant document, but the implementation left a lot to be desired, in my view. They came back again very recently with the Zim asset. Absolutely amazing blueprint. Again, the implementation lacked the buy-in of the private sector, lacked the buy-in of the public-private partnership, and now we have they just ended that Transitional Stabilization Program, the TSP. Okay. Fantastic document again. We've seen from a government level that the implementation has been great, but there's also a need for that cohesion with the private sector. There's that cohesion also with all the other government institutions, such as the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, Allied Timbers, all these other companies that are also co-owned by government. And right now we are in the National Development Strategy 1. This is where you really now need the young people to carry the vision further by implementing. So I think it's a good step for government to take. We probably are going to see quite a healthy growth of our economy. Okay. And all the other socio-economic issues can be addressed, because you are looking at people who are coming from a diverse backgrounds, and they can always assist government in achieving its set targets. I think the encouragement is that we must just keep pressing on, but concern ourselves also as young people, because we're very absent within the leadership block in this country. How many young ministers are in this particular government? I think the current leadership has done very well to include us, but we need to do more for ourselves as young people. So whatever sector you are in, how much of an impact are you actually making? How much of an impact are you making to uplift and inspire the next person? That's very critical in my view. I think we need young people to step up. Yeah. It's our country. Yeah. The next generation after this one is going to be looking at us with such sadness and such hate if we don't step up now to say we have to take these leadership roles. They are not, when we talk about leadership, we're not talking about politics. alone, and that is what we've confined leadership to be in Zimbabwe, unfortunately, and we need to change that mindset. Leadership is me making an impact here where I am today, you making an impact where you are today, you know. So I think that's the encouragement I would give to the other young ones. Otherwise we face an issue of extinction. I think it's commendable to have young people step up. It's commendable to see them doing things. It's also absolutely amazing to see them do it without funding being provided. You know, that's what we call innovation. I think government has tried to come up with programs and ways of helping the young ones, but again, we are the ones who have the connections outside of the country. We travel quite a bit as a generation generally. You know, whoever is watching this, if you really think about it, you've got how many people you know in London right now, you've got how many people you know in China, how many people you know in the Maldives, for example. What is it that they can do to help you to push your grind better? What is it that Technomeg can do to partner with other big media houses outside of the country? Content is a huge business. I'm just giving this as an example. But they may not necessarily come with cash, but they can give you cameras to go and film Chief Koti. They can, you know, buy you microphones or stuff that can help you to do better products of news gathering. And for me, it's collaboration much more than the actual dollar to dollar. There can be barter and an exchange of ideas, an exchange of resources. And with that, there's no need for funding really, because it has covered a lot of things. And those are the partnerships that we need to look out for, that we need to go out there and look for. And it's not government that's going to look for that. Government is busy with the day-to-day running of the country. And me and you as young people, we need to be in a position where we think outside the box. We collaborate as much as we can for us to be able to achieve this. And most of these guys have done this quite well. And I think if you look at that top 40 list, I think it's got some brilliant individuals that have done absolutely amazing work for this country.
True that.
The pandemic has wreaked havoc. I speak more so and more fondly for my sector, the tourism. Travel was obliterated when COVID came into the picture. But guess what? What has been exciting is the innovation around it. I can tell you that I follow the media quite elaborately in this country, and we saw some amazing growth of some news agencies, some news brands, entertainment brands that have come to the fore. I'm talking about, you know, one of the, if actually the most influential leader in the country, according to IPCZ, Tinashe Mutharisi. He came through with Nash, and Nash was born during COVID-19, and it made such an impact in the entertainment sector. It served the arts industry, which means it kept some people employed. And I think, in as much as COVID has been a bad thing, but it has also given us, you know, ideas to say, look, we can't just sit at home. Let us embrace technology and come up with new products. And I think the sky is the limit if we continue on that trajectory and be within that emergency mode, because we're a country that is coming from behind to catch up with other countries. Wow. The secret, I think, I'm a very spiritual person, so God is my fortress. You know, He leads me through still waters, so they say. That's the number one secret that I've had. You know, I get in touch with that regularly. in fact, on a daily basis and on every project. But from a physical perspective, for me, the word delivery means everything. Deliver, and deliver some more. We will change the world with that attitude. It doesn't matter everything else that is in between, the excuses of the economy, the excuses of whether you subscribe to the current dispensation or you subscribe to the opposition of that dispensation. It's neither here nor there. As young people, we need to put the excuses aside and just get out there and work. So if I've been given a role here at ZTA to say, go and market the country, go and talk about Zimbabwe, tell people about Zimbabwe, I'm going to definitely do that with my might. Whether there's resources for me to do that or not is another story. I have to innovate around that and make sure that people still know more about Destination Zimbabwe so that they can come and bring in the much needed revenue within this country to assist all the other sectors, for a foreign currency base or whatever the measurement can be. But let us deliver. If you are a footballer, the delivery is scoring goals. You need to win matches. I'm coming from a sports background as well, so what I believe in is not how the game was played. Yeah. It's whether or not you won. So how will we win? By delivering whatever we've been told to deliver. And that's it. And I think that's the mindset that all these leaders must adopt. And I think the current government is doing that. Whether or not the cheerleaders out there are seeing it is another story, but the delivery. I was talking about the TSP earlier on. Did we have a surplus within the period that was set? Yes, we did. Did we achieve our targets of reducing our import bill? Yes, we did. Did we achieve our target of exporting a little bit more? Yes, we did. So for me, that is what we must always look at as a country. Even from a private sector perspective, it's always about the top line and the bottom line. Does it make sense? If it makes sense, then we've delivered. Do you know the constitution of this beautiful country has put a 25% quota for the youth on everything? So the boards that we see, it is constitutional that they have at least 25% of the people. When there's what is called the National Youth Policy, I think, we should take time to read it and understand your rights as a youth. You'll be amazed at the information that is there. All we need to do as the youth is to just stand up and take our space because it has been reserved. So out of that 25%, there is another 25% that has been also reserved for women in every sector in the country, in every leadership role in the country, every production role in the country. Where is the other 50%? It's just out there hanging, isn't it? Yeah. So if we take up our 25% and use it up, because we are nowhere near it in terms of representation, in terms of projects, in terms of actual production. Are we contributing to at least 25% to the GDP as youth-based companies or youth-owned companies? We are probably not doing that. So we need to get out there more and just take up our space. There's no one who's going to give it to us, by the way. And we can only go and get it for ourselves. And I think to encourage the youth is to say we need to take up our space. How many degreed youth do we have in this country? We're crying about unemployment, but do we not have minds that can innovate around that situation and turn it into something else? The Chinese economy is a $1 trillion economy now because of the SME sector. Can we not have brains that can also push us up that much? I think we do. So it's something that we need to really focus on as the youth, to take up that 25% at the very least. And remember, we've got the other 50% that we can also go and bamboozle ourselves in.
Yeah.
My last words, I think, is just to encourage the country's youth and leaders to find more cohesive ways of working together. We need to collaborate more. We've got quite an interesting relationship as tourism with the sports sector, because we've realized that people travel mainly for sport. It's something that has not been explored in the country. You've got other sectors also, such as arts, that could benefit from different sectors, but we must collaborate. Collaboration is the new currency right now. You don't need $10 million to start a business. You need to have the right people supporting you and collaborating with you. And also, to the guys that are starting businesses or that are getting into business, remember always that 100 or 20% of something is better than 100% of absolutely nothing. So when you collaborate, you have an opportunity to own something as little as it is. And also just to call upon to Zimbabweans to shun away from self-hate. Social media is the new platform that is shaping world opinion. When we're out there, how do we behave, whether or not we agree with whoever is supposed to be leading or not? It's so critical for us to always stay as patriotic and as real to our country as possible, because you can talk about that particular person that you don't like now. Tomorrow they will not be there. To be your opportunity to clean up the mess that they would have left behind. It's better for you to start from a cleaner slate than to start from picking up the rubble. It gives you more work to pick up the rubble than to actually start the work. So I think in as much as we criticize each other, it must be constructive criticism that is focused on a certain direction. If we've said that 2030 we want to be a lower middle income country, then in as much as we have divergent views, they must be within that particular line of thought and action, of course. So yeah, I think that's what I would say to everybody who is watching this, and to say also congratulations to Technomag for their continued persistence in this industry. Very difficult, but we've seen what they've done, and we need to congratulate them. To me, they are more influential than us because they have brought the Zimbabwean story and they've shaped the Zimbabwean narrative. So to Technomag and all the other upcoming media houses, keep up the good work and keep pushing. We'll definitely make it.